Hi, this is CCGetty. We're at the Republic. This is Julz from Hatchet, and we're going to do an interview for Metalheads United and for Metal Nation Radio. So, Julz, for those who are just discovering you for the first time on this tour, why don't you tell us a little bit about Hatchet and where you're from and what you guys are up to?
Well, we are from the San Francisco Bay Area, and I think a lot of that would attribute to, or a lot of our sound attributes to being from there. We've been around for about 6 years now. We've gone through a few lineup changes, a different record label. We've had this is our second album that just came out, Dawn of the End. It's on the End Records, and we're just basically about trying to melt people's faces off, man, as much as we can, and get out there and do what we can. And we're grateful to be on this tour with Soilwork right now, and it's so far it's been a blessing. We meet a lot of people that have never heard us at all, or never heard of us at all, and for the first time, and they're buying our albums and buying our shit, and that's basically what it's about, man. We're just trying to make an impact.
Excellent. Well, you made an impact on us tonight. I wish there were more in the building, but you guys came on early tonight. But the CD, Dawn of the End, how's it doing so far?
You know what? So far, from what I can tell, it's doing really well. The label's really happy with it. As far as sales go, we're almost out of the second case of CDs on this tour, and so far we're getting just nothing but positive reviews. There's always going to be certain people out there that are haters, but for the most part, it's been I'm really surprised. It's been a 98% positive, maybe 2% negative response. So I see what we're getting. So
well, for me,
I'm
it's
really happy with it.
night and day from the first album to this album.
Yeah.
I mean, you've had a complete change of members except for yourself.
Right.
And speaking of that, what was it like going from being just a lead guitar player to taking on the vocal duties? Was that easier than you thought, or is it still kind of an operation in progress?
I'd say just basically about now I'm getting to the point where I'm comfortable with it. I'm getting to, be able to interact with the crowd and know when I can deviate from not paying attention to what I'm playing and pay attention more to my voice and crowd, and because I got to do all that now. It definitely wasn't something that was in the cards for me. I never in my life thought I would ever be singing. It was always guitar for me. But lineup changes happen, and it was actually mid-tour, a couple tours ago, when we were doing more of a DIY style, kind of do-it-yourself. We were actually touring with Havoc, and something happened with our singer. It didn't work out. We basically kicked his ass off the band because he did some really fucked up shit on stage. It was not cool, and I basically had 3 days to learn before the next show. So it was something I just basically had to do, and now I wouldn't have it any other way. So.
Well, like I said, from the first album to this album, night and day, and if any indication by what's coming so far, I think you guys have a great future in front of yourselves.
Man. Thank you.
Now, I discovered Hatchet via social media and Facebook.
Okay.
And of course, Metalheads United, that's where we started.
Okay.
How do you feel Facebook is for up-and-coming bands today? Is it something that's important, or is it just also there?
You know what? I think it's actually extremely important. It's probably one of the most important tools that are out there, I would personally say. It's kind of like what it used to be back, when our first album came out with MySpace, where MySpace was the big thing, and a lot of people network that way. I think it's a really great networking tool. It kind of sucks that they're starting to get really corporate with it and starting to pay for your posts.
Yes.
The people that like your page can't see this or that. You have to pay for certain things, but like with anything else, there's not always the control that you have that you want. But for what it is and how big it's become, I think it really is useful. That's basically, we don't even have a website because...
That is your website.
That is our website, and most bands, even our label, is just if you have a Facebook, that's good enough. I think we got a Twitter. One of our other guys manages the social media stuff, not myself, but it's been really very helpful, it's good. It's a good way to interact with people, around, the country, around the world that don't know who you are and discover you, and then, hopefully one day when we get there, it'll be, they'll know our stuff, just like you. You know our stuff, and we show up and... first time, here in Calgary for us, and a few people already knew our stuff, so it was really great. I think it's a very useful tool.
Excellent. Well, it's been fun watching you guys go across Canada, go across the States, and all the pictures that I've seen. Tonight is your 19th gig in a row. I think, by my count, you'll be 29 in a row before you have your first day off in Vegas.
Yes.
What's that been like for you? I mean, that's a lot of gigs in one night. I know you're resting for 23 and a half hours and kicking the shit out of people for 30 minutes, but how's that schedule been keeping you so far?
You know what? I have to actually contradict what you said. It hasn't been rest for 23 hours. It's more because we're traveling with Soilwork. It was part of the deal that we got. It's been really cool because we get to talk to them, hang out with them and stuff. But it's kind of like we show up at the earliest load-in time other than any of the other bands. It's nice that we're on the bus. We don't have to drive. But at the same time, it's we're the earliest there and we're the latest there. So we're still helping like puzzle our gear in and load it in like at 1 or 2 a.m. when all the bands have already driven away for a couple hours. We're still doing that, and we finally get on the bus like 2:33 a.m. and then everyone wants to hang out, and it's like, yeah, of course we want to hang out, and then we get up and it's like 12 p.m., 11 a.m. time for loading again, do the whole thing the next day, and it's like it's been really rough, man, but in a good way, It's been really great so far. Yeah, it is our 19th gig, but we're happy with it, man. We were really tired of rehearsing for like months on end and playing one show in the Bay Area every month because you don't want to oversaturate, or doing some LA stuff. But this is like what we want to do. It's been really great. All the members are all on the same page. It's not like it was before where people were pulling in different directions. So
excellent.
It's definitely the best lineup we have, and for the tour so far, everyone. I don't see any big issues coming where it seems like people aren't like handling it or can't mentally handle it, because it's a lot to handle.
Yeah.
And just so far it's been really great.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Aside from tonight's show,
yes,
which was pretty good, what has been the best Hatchet show on the tour so far?
I would say the Gramercy Theater in New York, and there was a couple of reasons that was really good. It was because it was like the 4th gig of the tour where we really personally felt okay with the other bands. This is our first time. A lot of these guys are pretty veterans when it comes to touring, and this is our first one, so we're kind of like trying to figure out where we fit into it, how we can push, what we can do, where we have to hold back as the opener and all that. And that was really the first show where like everything came together and it felt like really good. Also, that's where our label's from, and they all came out to that show.
Excellent.
And it ended up being like tonight. It was like a Friday or Saturday night, packed house, even for us, and it was really good. No mess ups. We just barreled through it all the way 100%, and it was great. They loved it. It was good meeting them, and that's the point where I felt it was like probably the best show besides tonight. Tonight was really great.
Excellent. Always good to have a great show in the NYC too, right?
Yes, exactly.
What has been the best thing about life on the road so far?
Not having to work, man. I mean, we work. This is a lot of work to do this, but not having to like be at our jobs. It's kind of like the way we think about it is like, every day feels like a Friday or Saturday night to us. There's no, it's like, what day is it? It's today, Tuesday, Monday, and you're just playing a show, and we're used to doing that on a Friday or Saturday in our hometown. So it's like every day we wake up, there's a lot of work to do, but you get on stage and it's like it's a party basically, and there's a lot to do, but I'd say that's probably the best thing. It's basically been a working party, if you could call it that.
And the worst thing about being on the road?
Dude, not being able to shower, man. It sucks.
Yeah.
It's like there's certain venues where we can and stuff like that, but it's kind of like again, as the opener, it's like when everyone else is done, or when the headline is on you, then you guys can use it, and they're like racing to use it. It's like, yeah, probably that. Just being all nasty feeling all the time and shit like that. But I don't know. I guess it's not that big of a deal. But I guess that would probably be the worst.
Okay, fair enough. With all the downtimes in between your gig, what's the favorite activity to pass the time on the bus? Drinking. Beer, whiskey, spirits. What are you guys doing?
Most of us it's just beer. A couple of the guys smoke weed, but for myself it's just beer, man. That's something you can just kind of kick back and lightly drink and kind of get a nice buzz going. You drink hard shit, man, you're gonna feel like crap the next day, especially like I said, all the loading and shit we got to do. It's a lot of stuff to move, and we help out soil work because they only got a couple guys doing their teching, so we're kind of like moving all their stuff too. But it's all fun, man. It's just it's a balance, but that's probably so far the pastime that everyone's kind of partaking in. It's just the drinking.
Okay, typical stories that I tend to hear.
Yeah.
Now you're talking about spending time on the bus with soil work.
Yeah.
Them being the headlining act and you being the opening act.
Right.
It's kind of a good situation for you to be. Are you learning anything from them? Are they sharing any advice with you on the road that you can take and put in your wallet and cash in later on?
They're definitely really cool guys, man. They, from what I can tell, no chips on their shoulder, dude. They're just really cool, down to earth, and they share their water, their beer, and sometimes their food with us. Because it's just, so that's really cool. Yeah, they're definitely, there's some advice they're helping us, out with, and questions we ask, like, how do you guys do this, or when was the first time you guys went from being in a van to on a bus, and how was it for you guys? And, for the most part, they're just super cool dudes, and it's really cool. I used to listen to them. I've listened to the new album now, but I used to listen to them a lot more when I was in high school. So it's kind of actually cool to be like, wow, I used to listen to this band, on the school bus, going to, freshman year of high school, and now I'm on tour.
Now you're on the road with them.
Yeah, so it's definitely cool, man, and yeah, it's pretty cool being on the bus. So but they're just cool guys.
Right on.
Yeah.
And with all these bands touring together, I'm sure there's all kinds of insanity going on, practical jokes, that kind of thing. How are you guys all getting along together on the road? Is anything getting out of control, or are you reining it in, or how's it working out?
No, man, it's going good so far. Again, being on the bus, you know, it's kind of different for me because we've toured a couple times on smaller scale, like in our van, and a lot of these bands are in their van. And that's, to me, that's like kind of a cool part, like driving around, seeing the scenery, and like getting to the gig. And it's like for us, you know, we're at the mercy of the bus schedule. You know what I mean? So it's like we leave when they leave, we arrive when they arrive. It's not like, oh, we need to go do this, we want to do this, we want to, you know, sightsee on this. But and that's not a bad thing. It's just something different we're not used to. But in terms of, what was the question, like practical jokes or something?
Yeah, any kind of craziness going on like that at all?
No, we're getting to the point where we're really comfortable with the solo work guys, and we're starting to like, you know, have little, you know, little jokes here and there. Nothing like huge and, you know, like practical joke, but like, you know, little things that it's like the humor's interconnecting and it's going really good. Also, Bonded by Blood, this is the first tour we've done with them, and we actually had to drive across country with them in our van. They're actually using our van because their situation didn't work out. But we drove across country with them, and that was pretty interesting. 3 days of just straight driving and partying, basically, and trying not to get pulled over. But no, we've become really good friends with them, and the personalities mesh well. There's no egos. There's no like, you know, oh, we've toured this many times and this is your first
Right.
tour. It's all just really cool. They help us out. They show us the ropes, and
It's good to see the metal community pulling together and everyone, you know.
It's really cool. They're really cool dudes. So.
Now, you mentioned traveling across the country together. I think by my count, you know, you guys have crossed the border maybe 3, maybe 4 times in and out of Canada.
Yeah.
Being a thrash metal band on tour with a major band like Soilwork, any fun stories crossing the border that you want to share with us at all? How's border services been for you so far?
I actually have a little bit of a driving under the influence issue on my record, so that was pretty shitty for me. They didn't treat me like crap or anything, but I had to pay to get into the country every time because they don't let people with DUIs on their record into Canada.
Okay.
It sucks. And it was a long time ago too, but it's like boom, it pops up right away, and so I've had to pay. Bonded by Blood has had some interesting stories, but none that I feel comfortable sharing on their behalf.
Fair enough. I think we can guess what's going on there.
But there was some cavity searches going on that I heard of. That's all. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm not gonna say who it was, but some stuff happened. For us, it went pretty smooth, other than my thing. And but man, Canada's fucking strict, dude. They it's weird. Like even going back into the U.S. the first time, I think I only had an issue because I passed out from like partying, and then like they couldn't get me up, and the border guy was like sitting there like waiting for me to get up, and everyone was like punching me, trying to wake me up, and I wouldn't wake up. But even then, he just wanted to see my face to my ID. Okay, you're ready to go.
Good.
But in Canada, dude, we have to like get off the bus, sit there for like an hour. And they run our shit, and it's just like kind of ridiculous. But I don't know.
Oh well.
But it's cool once we're up here, man. These have been some of the best shows in Canada.
It's good to hear.
Yeah, everyone's like
People treating you well.
People treating us well, man. It's just good being up here, and it's been really fun.
Right on. Getting back to music, what was the turning point in your life that metal took over and took you where you are now? Was it a certain band? Was it a certain song? What was it that kind of just nailed the coffin shut for you on heavy metal?
I would have to say it was actually my discovery of actual thrash metal, because when I was younger, I think the only thing that I heard at that point that was really like, besides like new metal at the time, which was, you know, when I was in middle school or whatever, it was Metallica's Black Album, and I heard that when I was kind of young, and I thought like that's as heavy as it get. And I remember very vividly stumbling across at a thrift store some random tape that just said Metallica, and I was like, oh cool, it was $1, and I bought it, and it ended up being Master of Puppets. And I heard Battery for the first time.
There you go.
I've never heard anything like heavy and fast. It was like, you know, with the new metal, it always had that really heavy groove, but never sped up. And I liked punk because I liked the speed of it. And then I heard that together for the first time, and like that was it. Like I was like, wow, I gotta hear more of this. And I discovered, you know, Slayer, Testament, Megadeth, all that other stuff, and it fell into place there. And I used to be a drummer at the time, but when I started playing guitar is when I really started getting serious about writing and wanted to find people to jam with, and it just kind of happened.
Probably growing up in San Francisco too. I mean, one of the great melting pot for thrash metal and heavy music in that area. No matter how old you are, what area you come from.
Yeah. No, it's great there, man. It's unfortunately, I think at least as of lately, the metal scene there has been very stifled in a way, I guess you could say. People only kind of come out to like the big shows. There's a big underground scene too that like we're kind of a part of, and people still come out, but it's not like it was like when Hatchet first started, you know, when the whole like thrash resurgence kind of started, you know, when like bands like Warbringer, Fueled by Fire, all of them, when it was brand new, it was like, dude, there'd be like, you know, packed houses like this tonight, you know, 400 or 500 people, and now it's like you're lucky if you get 200 people, you know, and you know, it's just really weird. People are choosy. It could be the fact that people are growing up, and people that were then 18, 19 now, you know, 23, 24, 25, trying to move out and have jobs and stuff. So I kind of understand that part, but I don't know. As of lately, it's a little interesting. We still do okay, but yeah. I mean, obviously the influence of the Bay Area scene has been a huge influence on us, and the bands that are from there are still doing good. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, when you're on the road now with Soilwork, you're exposing your music to a whole different parts of the country that probably never saw Hatchet before.
Yeah.
What's next for Hatchet after this tour?
We have a few more tentative things in the works, a couple more tours that we're discussing, and you know, our goal is to stay as busy as we can in the public light for 2013 and keep writing out this album as much as possible. We did a music video for one of our songs. We're possibly going to do another, and actually, because of this tour, we had to cancel a bunch of kind of like local and LA dates, Los Angeles for us, that we're going to remake up in the next coming months. So we're still going to be busy there, and then it just depends with our management and you know, how the booking stuff goes. But we hope to get another big tour or two under our belts before the end of the year.
Right on. Well, you know, thanks for coming out to Calgary. Thanks for taking the time to see us and talk with our fans.
Absolutely.
And
thank
hopefully
you.
we'll see you next time in a bigger venue, and maybe with the guys higher up on the bill, because honestly, that's what I think you guys deserve, and I think it's a great future when it comes to Hatchet. We're more than happy to help you out.
Great. No, I appreciate all that, man. And I'm glad to do these interviews. It makes worth getting up in the morning, people that want to interview you, so it's a good thing.
Right on. Well, thanks again.
All right.
Joe.
Well, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And we'll see you again next time. This is CCGetty for Metalheads United and Metal Nation Radio, because united, we rock.